Right now, Claude, Anthropic, is in a fight with the US government. Like, what?
What's the fundamental difference between like these, cloud or apps like ChatGPT and OpenClaw that's like running on your machine?
It's really the gateway capability because, like, it's connecting all of your tech and all of your surfaces into one AI agentic model. And so that's the integration side of it versus with like ChatGPT, it's isolated to ChatGPT. So like even if they create like an agentic, like what's the one that they have, the browser, what's it called?
Oh, Atlas.
Yeah, Atlas itself is a browser. So like that's a good example where it's like, Atlas is now this new browser and the AI works in the whole browser. And that's a step up from like normal chat GPT that really just kind of works in that one chat interface. And then it connects to other data sources through connectors and stuff like that. But regardless, those environments, they're just kind of isolated to what you set up when you start working with it versus this is kind of coming in and plugging in to what already works for you. So you're not having to like rebuild entire tech stacks within a new browser or within a new platform. You're just giving access to the things that you're already doing in your business.
Okay. Okay. So, like by default, isolated versus integrated.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Okay.
Also the model agnostic side of it, right? Like if you only want to use OpenAI, then that's fine. But if you want to be able to use different models, have fallbacks, have like cost optimization strategy, like that's the other big thing with with like OpenClaw being open source is that there's really no constraint on what AI provider you can use, what hosting provider you can use, what environment you can run it in. Like you have full control. So it's very different from like locking in with one vendor.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that all day. Like I probably get in at least 3 arguments a day about being model agnostic. Okay. But dude, this is very important. Okay. I love that.
Like, dude, think about this year alone. How many times has OpenAI gone down? And right now, Claude, Anthropic, is in a fight with the US government. Like, what? We
Yeah.
didn't see
Yeah.
that one coming, but like, yeah, like Anthropic is literally having a fight with the US government about the use of their models. And the US government's kind of saying, like, hey, listen, if you don't let us do what we want to do, we're going to blacklist you and we're going to basically deem you a supply chain risk. And, we're not going to let other people do business with you. It could be like TikTok. Like it could lead to Anthropic not being able to
Yes.
serve in the US market.
For as much as I don't like, it's a personal vendetta I have with Anthropic. Okay, they banned me one time, so I have to like, I have to like dance or whatever, whatever his name is, Dario. Like I'm still using your shit. Okay,
Yeah. And
I
that's
use
the
it.
whole
I
argument.
literally used it to write up the show notes. Middle finger, whatever. You're not stopping anybody.
And that's what I'm saying is
No,
like, dude,
but
tomorrow, like Nano Banana 3.2 just came out, right?
yeah,
That's not integrated with ChatGPT, any version of OpenAI's agent, nor is it integrated with like Claude, right? Because Claude wants to do their own image generation and OpenAI wants to do their own image generation. But like, if you want to generate crazy good, like, dude, you should see the stuff Nano 3.2 can do. Like, it's really good. You can do different aspect ratios. The wording is really good. Like, it's dope.
and it's Nano Banana 2. It's half the price of Pro, so it's like the quality of Pro at half the price,
Yeah.
which is freaking,
So like
which is
that's what I'm
awesome.
saying. And
Yeah.
that next, it could be next week. Gemini Flash 4.0 comes out and it blows every other model out of the water. There could be an open source model that comes out of nowhere, and if you can, if you can host it, because like OpenClaw supports Olama. Olama is like this
Yeah.
tool that you can use to host a model directly on your machine. No network connection required. No API key required. You can run it directly on your machine. So if you want a truly isolated environment, you can do that too. Like that's the flexibility that you really get. And I know a lot of people are like probably saying, I'm kind of going out of scope here and people are starting to tune out, like the business owners especially. But we're talking more about fundamentals right now rather than like why it affects you. But I think it still loops back into it, because if you're a business owner, you're evaluating like, okay, is this going to be like an AI employee I'm going to bring into my business? Is this something I'm going to connect and like, use everything with? And these are the kinds of things you have to think about. It's like the hit by a bus argument. It's like if OpenAI goes down tomorrow and you have all of your automation running through OpenAI, you're screwed. Like your vendor locked in there. If one model provider that you're using decides to change their pricing model, you're screwed there.
That's on that right there. Like, so from a business standpoint, operating costs, I mean, this matters because you could use an AI employee. It ends up costing the same as a virtual assistant would. You know what I mean? Like depending on how you're operating it and which models you're choosing.
Yeah.
So one of the most popular models, Opus, is freaking expensive as heck, right?
It can be.
It can be, yes, for sure. I have been using, I've been surprised at how incredible Gemini 3 Flash has been performing lately. And I literally used it to wipe out and wrap up a dashboard I was handing off yesterday. And one, it's fast, it's efficient, and it's cheap, and it's good. Like that CEO view I sent you or whatever, that was Flash.
Wow.
I gave the same one to 3.1 without like any instructions. We'll have to share this later, but with no instructions. And like the difference, because I didn't give it too many instructions, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I was seeing like what it did out of the box, and it was like not that huge of a difference. It's just they get that good over time.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that's, I think, if anything, if you can walk away with anything from this, understanding that like OpenClaw really is, agnostic, it's model agnostic, it's provider agnostic, it's tech stack agnostic, and that just means it doesn't matter if you use WhatsApp on a day-to-day basis, if you use Slack, Discord, Telegram, if you use Gmail or, Outlook, like you don't have to be confined to one certain configuration of stuff for this to be able to plug into what you're using. And, you have full control over it because you're hosting it, right? Like it's literally running on your environment.
Hey, it's David Murillo, your host from Sass with Das podcast. Hope you enjoyed the episode today. If you're looking for more like this and want to check out another episode or more from this episode, go ahead and click on one of these videos right here and check out more content from Sass with Das podcast. See you on the next one.